The Owls began the new season with a determination to look forward and plan their assault on the summit of the division. After a transitional 2010-2011 campaign, the ship had been steadied, and the aim for 2011-2012 was clear: promotion back to the Championship. As ever, pre-season news was consumed by the comings and goings in the playing staff. 7 players left on permanent deals, including academy graduate Tommy Spur, who made the graduation to the Championship with Doncaster. Incoming, among others, was former Premier League player David Prutton from Swindon and former Portuguese under-21 international José Semedo from Charlton. And by the end of the transfer window in August, the club would have netted a signature, a prolific striker Ryan Lowe from Bury. Youngster Mark Beevers moved on loan to gain more first-team experience, as former Manchester United academy player Ben Marshall was drafted in from Stoke City until January. August began at home in the visit of a Rochdale side that just missed out on the playoffs last term. Bennett, Semedo and Prutton all made their debuts, and it would be another new signing who broke the deadlock on 16 minutes. Rob Jones, now a permanent Owl following his successful loan spell the previous campaign, rose highest to direct the ball into the net. The new club captain was instrumental in last term's late renaissance, and his experience and quality would be key in 2011-2012. Rochdale improved in the second half and were a strip of paint away from levelling the contest when Ashley Grimes' curling effort rebounded off the post and was cleared to safety. The game was put beyond doubt in the 72nd minute when David Prutton capped his debut with a stunning strike. Just one game into the season and the Owls already had a strike worthy of winning any goal of the season competition. The Carling Cup gave the players a good test against Blackpool, who'd fought bravely in the Premier League in the previous campaign. And it would be the Seasiders who go closest to opening the scoring. When Tom Ince was left to run through on goal, his pullback though was scuffed wide by Billy Clark to the winger's dismay. Sheffield Wednesday would be given the numerical advantage late into normal time when Ashley Eastham went in needlessly and aggressively, the referee having little choice but to send off the fullback. With the game looking destined for extra time, this was a welcome boost to the Wednesday players. However, the game would be decided on penalty kicks, Richard O'Donnell making the important save from Billy Clark. It was left up to James O'Connor to score the all-important penalty to secure a cup upset for the Owls and put their place in the second round of the competition. Back in the league and a trip to the South Coast for the first away day of the campaign. And the Cherries would take the lead on 38 minutes when Adam Barrett's late run into the area was found from the corner and his low header put the South Coast side en route to victory. With 7 minutes to go, the Cherries put the icing on the cake when good play down the right from Feeney and Taylor was converted by Harry Arter. Back up north, but again away from home, the club travelled to newly promoted Bury for the first meeting between these two clubs in the league since 1980. It would be first blood to Bury when on 7 minutes a long ball forward was laid off to David Worrell, whose pinpoint cross found Ryan Lowe, who had the simple job of heading the Shakers into the lead. The striker was on a hot streak that would net him the August Player of the Month and a high-profile move to Hillsborough, with the manager hoping he could recreate the form he was showing against Wednesday for Wednesday. And just before half-time, the Owls were 2 behind when Reader Johnson was outwitted by Damien Mazika, and the Frenchman slotted the Shakers into a 2-0 lead. The Owls got back into the game in the second half and were rewarded for their efforts when David Prutton found space in the centre of the field to push forward. He laid the ball off to Chris Sedgwick, who took aim and curled a beautiful shot into the top of the goal. It was the third goal Wednesday had scored this campaign, and 2 of them were Goal of the Month contenders. Rob Jones was sidelined for the home match with Notts County. Reader Johnson deputised, with Lewis Buxton taking on captain's duties. With just 10 minutes gone in the contest, the deadlock was broken when Chris Lyons was adjudged to have handled the ball in the area. The referee awarded the penalty and Jeff Hughes planted the ball low into the bottom right-hand corner of the net. The goal was against the run of play, and Wednesday would continue to dominate the match. A corner from the left of the back post found Clinton Morrison, who did well to keep the ball in play, and crossed to Julian Bennett, who rifled the ball into the top of the net to bring the teams level. It was nothing short of what they deserved, and with their tails up, they looked to turn the tie and press for a winner. It would come with 20 minutes to go when Prutton found Lewis Buxton down the right wing. His low cross was pinpoint and found Gary Medine in acres of space in front of goal. The young striker had little difficulty converting the chance to net his first of the campaign and put the Owls into a deserved winning position. There would still be more drama to come when Neil Bishop was adjudged to have dived under the challenge from Jose Semedo, and the referee brandished the county player's second yellow of the game, leaving the Magpies to finish the contest with 10 men. The draw for the Carling Cup once again pitted Wednesday against a top outfit as the club travelled to the northwest to face Premier Leaguers Blackburn Rovers. It would prove a tough day at the office for the Owls when after just 3 minutes Rovers took the lead through Ruben Rachina. And the difficulties would double straight from the restart. Wednesday lost possession deep in their own half, and Rovers pounced, finding Rachina, who steadied himself and rifled the ball past Richard O'Donnell to put the Premier League outfit 2-0 up after just 5 minutes. And the game was put beyond Wednesday before the minutes had ticked over into double figures. Good Willie was left unmarked on the edge of the area, and his measured shot nestled into the bottom corner to bring to a close a devastating 4 minutes from Rovers. The travelling support did have something to cheer in the second half when quick thinking from Chris Lyons put Clinton Morrison through. His instinctive first-time shot found the corner for the striker's first goal of the campaign. Not surprisingly, it proved nothing more than a consolation, and Wednesday left the northwest and the distraction of the Carling Cup behind them. Back at home and back in the league, Wednesday looked to maintain their 100% S6 record against Scunthorpe United.
And a mixed start to the season for Sheffield Wednesday. It's out of the Carling Cup in the week at Blackburn Rovers. But they're in here. Morrison! Oh, should have scored. They had scored through Gary Medine. Scunthorpe appealing for offside. But Medine will get his goal. There's a score against Notts County in their last win here. But now Clinton Morrison didn't score. Lovely turn from Dagnall. And Prutton comes across. And a penalty has been awarded. Mr. Linnington, well, he's going to come and have a word with his assistant here. And it looks as though it's been overturned. What incredible scenes here at Hillsborough. And Scunthorpe are furious. This is Marshall. Deflected and in for 2. First goal of the season, man on loan from Stoke City. And clear daylight with not even 20 minutes on the clock. Get to win in League One this season, Scunthorpe. Just one defeat, however, with 3 draws in there. But they could be in with a chance of a goal here, and they have got themselves one back through Grant. Onside. It's another one for Gary Medine, and the former Carlisle striker, who scored 5 goals in the second half of last season after his move to Middlesbrough, has 2 today, and Sheffield Wednesday on their way to 3 points. Fall for Duffy here, and Duffy goes for goal and finds it. 5 minutes left on the clock, and we've got a game on our hands.
The month came to a close with the Johnston's Paint Trophy and a tie against the Bantams of Bradford. Both teams rested their starters, and the game would finish, after 120 minutes without a goal, with a penalty shootout. Chris Sedgwick took the decisive spot kick that was saved by Oscar Janssen, ending Wednesday's interest in the JPT tournament. It had been a strange month. 8 games played, including 3 cup matches, and the club sat in 9th position. An exemplary home record was in stark contrast to their away form, but this was early in the campaign, and there would be plenty of football between now and the middle of May. The month began with a tough test away at early pace setters Charlton Athletic.
Bradley Wright Phillips! What a return to the side! The Charlton top scorer! It's taken them 2.5 minutes to give the Addicks the lead. In literally 2.5 minutes, he's just highlighted exactly why Chris Powell is thrilled to have him back. It's clever movement, he gets inside his marker and he just unleashes a powerful shot. Not so sure that Richard O'Donnell will be thrilled to see that, beaten at his near post, but what a start for Charlton Athletic. He's at the near post, it's glanced on and it's in! Clinton Morrison off the bench to level it for Sheffield Wednesday. Well, by my reckoning, that is his second touch of this football. This is what he brings to the party. We said set piece, not dealt with at the near post. Who gets on the end of it? A striker, a clinical striker, a striker who knows where balls are going to drop in penalty areas. He's got a lot to do. Just about keeps it down, goes in off the bar. And we said it, didn't we? For all Charlton's dominance, Gary Megson's team are level.
MK Dons, another of the early front runners, would visit Hillsborough, and the Owls hope to capitalise on their excellent home form.
It's cheaply given away. Morrison. Goal! Guess who? Gary Medine. 10 minutes into the second half, and Sheffield Wednesday finally unlock this MK Dons defence. Kept in by Palmer. It was Medine! He's got another one. 2 goals again for Gary Medine, just as he was against Scunthorpe here. It's the last time he scored. Unbeaten start to the season for the MK Dons. Could be coming to an abrupt end here, but this is Balanta, all on his own. Balanta, brilliant goal. A lifeline scored by Balanta. Bonic! Oh, what a save that is. Terrific save from O'Donnell. Okay, Dons coming into today, top of the tree. But they've got to be careful here. This is Palmer! That will do. That will wrap it up. An unbeaten start to the season for the MK Dons that is to come to an end. Looking at 3 games unbeaten for Sheffield Wednesday now. Japo Ibere is in big trouble here. A second yellow and he's off. And that just sums up MK Dons' afternoon here at Hillsborough.
A great result for Wednesday, and more evidence of the excellent home form. A trip down Broadwall Way to face Stevenage Borough for the first time in the club's history would not, however, go so well. Once again, the Owls were slow out of the traps on the road. Craig Reed the first to pounce after Richard O'Donnell spilled the shot from Stacey Long. And it would be 2 just 4 minutes later when John Massinio latched onto the loose ball and rifled a shot into the near corner to the delight of the home support. Goal number 3 had shades of luck about it as the ball found Michael Bostwick 30 yards out. He appeared to slip as he hit the ball, surprising the Owls shot stopper, who had little chance of reaching the strike. To add insult to injury, Stevenage would again ride their luck to a 4th goal before half-time, the ball rebounding out and hitting Laurie Wilson, who deflected the ball into the empty net. It was midway through the second period when Laurie Wilson manoeuvred his way into the danger area. Darius Charles picked up the ball, made space and passed it into the bottom corner to claim the team's 5th and the win. There was a glimmer of hope on 74 minutes when informed Gary Medine latched on to Reader Johnson's through ball to claim his 6th goal in 6 games. More drama would follow. With just 3 minutes to go before the end, Jermaine Johnson kicked out needlessly, giving the referee very little option but to send off the Jamaican and cap off a disastrous day for the Owls and their travelling support. The Owls stayed south for another away day, this time against Yeovil. The club had never lost to the Glovers and were desperate to keep it that way.
A glorious day, Huish Park. And following from Sheffield as well. As he's held up, and they've got something to cheer about here. McGoldrick. Cross from Medine, and scoring on debut, the man on loan from Nottingham Forest. What's going to happen here? Actually, the drop ball. Oh, now then, Kieran Agard, he's in. Extraordinary scenes, but an equaliser for Yeovil Town. Well, it looked as though it was to be played back to Sheffield Wednesday, but in the end, Yeovil end up scoring from the pass back. I feel for those Sheffield Wednesday supporters behind their goal getting soaking wet, and it's going to get a whole lot worse for them, because Kieran Agard has done it again, the former Everton man. Yeovil have turned this around. Oh, it's 2-2. Second of the season for Bennett. It's a deep one. Gary Medine! They lead again. 4 goals in his last 3 games. And he's had to be the match winner at Huish Park for Sheffield Wednesday.
It was a debut goal for David McGoldrick, who joined the Owls on loan for the month. Stephen Bywater also made the temporary move to Wednesday, and he was in goal for the first time for the visit of Exeter.
A bit of a scramble in here, and it's been poked home by O'Connor. With 5 minutes to go before half-time, the perfect time to score. It really was a mess in there. Such a poor goal to concede for Exeter City. Back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Sheffield Wednesday. The goalkeeper's come to claim it, and it's been spilt. And up go the heads, and it's 2-0. Real howler from Krzysiak in the Exeter goal. And it's Gary Medine. His 5th goal in his last 3 games. He's on fire. This is Marshall. O'Grady in support. Marshall, that'll be a penalty. No doubt about it. A clear block from Coles. Darren Drysdale having no other option. Medine from the penalty spot. And he goes. A brace, and for the 3rd time this season, he's scored 2 goals in a game. O'Grady. This is Lines. Goes for goal and hits the post. So close.
The Stevenage game apart, it had been a good month, with decent results against the higher placed teams and a striker in red-hot form. Up to 8th and looking to improve, they headed to the coast and 4th placed Hartlepool. The deadlock was broken in the 33rd minute when a long throw from Marshall was flicked on by Reader Johnson, and the ball managed somehow to evade everyone and nestle in the back of the net. It was the big man's first of the season, and it lifted the team and the match. Marshall then tested the keeper with a speculative 40-yard free kick that the Hartlepool stopper had to watch all the way. Wednesday would keep the pressure up in the second half. Substitute Liam Palmer going closest with this effort. Overall, it was a commanding display from the Owls, and a second away victory on the spin pointed towards improvement on the road. Back-to-back local derbies would follow, the first a tricky test against Chesterfield. Both teams to date had won 10 fixtures apiece in this contest over the years, and Wednesday were desperate to sneak the historical edge over their local rivals.
Got the heads and Buxton's there! The breakthrough. First goal of the season. It's a really good header as well. So looking for that second goal. A little bit of a cushion. Medine! In some style, they've got that second. Double figures for Gary Medine in League One this season. And it's a special, special goal. How about this? Try and get one back here, and Clark has one back. It's his first goal since his hat-trick against Carlisle. And well and truly wrap things up here for Sheffield Wednesday. Marshall. Second goal of the season. And the Owls looking at their best home start in 30 years with another 3 points. Well, stretched here, Chesterfield looking for another, and it's a top save from Fleming. And it should have been 4.
Four wins on the bounce had the Owls in great form as they made the short trip across the city for the most anticipated fixture of the season.
It's the first meeting between these two in the third tier of football since 1980. And this is Evans. Ah, it's off the post, and Quinn has put it in. First blood goes to Sheffield United. And Stephen Quinn with his third goal of the season. Angled in. Oh, and O'Grady to the post. How has he not scored from there? It was Evans, it's 2. His 4th goal of the season comes on the biggest occasion. Into today, having won the last 4 games in a row, Sheffield Wednesday rising to the summit of League One as Marshall's effort here is tipped over. Dean brings it down well. This is Marshall once more to tease his way forward here. Jones and O'Grady, and the way back into this match for Sheffield Wednesday through Chris O'Grady. Coming in the biggest game of the season so far, his first goal for Sheffield Wednesday. A lifeline. Touch on from Jones here, and O'Grady gets there before the goalkeeper. And clear. Still Wednesday knocking on the door here. Here goes the goalkeeper. It's in. Sheffield United furious. They feel as though they should have a free kick. The whistle didn't blow, and look at the scenes. 2-2 from 2-0 down. Gary Medine, I think, with the final touch, his 11th goal of the season. A terrific comeback, and had they snatched a point, snatching a point, it could be more here for Sheffield Wednesday. It comes across, Jones, straight into the clutches of the goalkeeper.
Still defending their much cherished unbeaten home form, the Owls return to Hillsborough to face Colchester. Both teams had their fair share of opportunities. This effort from the informed Gary Medine was comfortably saved by the Colchester keeper Ben Williams. But the breakthrough came in the second half. Medine wriggling free into space, hitting a low drive that Williams could only parry out to Rob Jones, who buried the rebound to put the Owls 1-0 up. Quite how the central defender had found himself so far forward, maybe only he will know, but he put the ball away with the confidence of a prolific goalscorer. Chris O'Grady almost doubled the lead shortly after, but his effort was parried away to safety by keeper Williams. Wednesday would eventually get the second their play deserved, when a scramble in the Colchester defence found Reader Johnson with the ball 2 yards out, and the central defender made no mistake to put the game beyond Colchester and 2 unusual names on the scoresheet. It was the Benin international's second goal in 3 games and extended the Owls' home winning run to 7 straight matches. Gary Medine and Ben Marshall had a chance to face their former club as the Owls travelled north to face the Cumbrians. The latter started his return with a sublime solo effort that put the Owls into a first half lead. It was the 20-year-old's 3rd goal of the season and was easily his best to date. Marshall was again involved before the break, his teasing cross finding Chris Lines, who couldn't get a meaningful shot away. The ball came back out to Marshall, who found Lewis Buxton on the overlap, and this time it would be Jose Semedo who would have his effort cleared away. The second half, though, belonged to Carlisle. Their first goal coming from some good play down the right. The ball would eventually find its way to Lee Miller, who was able to poke home. 6 minutes later, the tie had turned on its head. Rory Loy picking up the ball on the edge of the Wednesday area and hitting an unstoppable shot into the far corner. And a manic 15 minutes culminated in Carlisle's 3rd and decisive goal. The ball spread out to the left wing, where Liam Noble had time to take a touch, look up and place the ball into the far corner. The day would get worse for former Carlisle player Gary Medine, who went in high on James Tavernier. His 2nd yellow of the game meant an early bath and the end of a productive goal-scoring run for the attacker. Despite being a man shy, the Owls were able to pull a goal back when Rob Jones rose highest to bury his header in the back of the net. The skipper celebrated goals in back-to-back matches, but it wouldn't be enough to drag the team back into contention, bringing a 6-game unbeaten run to an end. Ryan Lowe had struggled with injury since his signing from Bury at the end of August, but the sidelining of Gary Medine gave the striker an opportunity against Wycombe to show the manager why they signed him. And it was Lowe who was instrumental in the opener, picking the ball up on the left-hand edge of the penalty area before getting a shot away that cannoned off the upright into the path of Jose Semedo, who buried his first goal for Wednesday to the delight of the travelling support. It was nothing short of what the away team deserved after some incisive play in the first half, and they nearly doubled the lead shortly afterwards when Marshall's cross shot caused havoc in the Wycombe box. Chris O'Grady was able to salvage another shot, but this also drifted agonisingly past the post. Wycombe drew level when the Wednesday defence allowed Jordan Ibe to surge into the box and rifle an unstoppable shot into the roof of the net for his only goal in a Wycombe jersey. An eventful first half continued unabated, and the lead was restored on 35 minutes when Ryan Lowe was found unmarked in the area, and the striker made no mistake to score his first goal on his first start for his new club. The relief from the player was there for all to see, and it would be the beginning of a good run for the marksman. Wednesday were a coat of paint from extending their lead in the second half with this free kick from Ben Marshall. But the second half was in contrast to the first, with the dismissal of Gareth Ainsworth the only moment of note. It had been an excellent month for Wednesday, with 13 points catapulting them up to 3rd in the division, above local rival Sheffield United, and just 5 points from the summit. Gary Megson kept the faith with the same 11 that had plundered 3 points at Wycombe 7 days earlier for the home game against 8th place Brentford. This would be a tight contest, a few clear-cut chances, but James O'Connor nearly had the home side in front in spectacular style, this bicycle kick bringing the best out of keeper Richard Lee. And it would be the left-hand side where Wednesday would look to profit again, Ben Marshall cutting in from the wing and firing a shot which had to be dealt with by the Brentford shot stopper. That would be the closest either team would come, and the manager had to settle for a point. The winning run at home was over, but they still had the record of being unbeaten at Hillsborough in the campaign. The FA Cup began against unfamiliar opposition as Sheffield Wednesday travelled to the Globe Arena to face Morecambe for the first time in the club's history.
Lines. Nice return from O'Grady. Lines scores! Great goal Chris Lines. Sheffield Wednesday lead in the FA Cup first round tie at the Globe Arena. Beautifully worked. And what a tidy finish from Lines. He started it up to O'Grady. Little return. He didn't need a second touch, did he, Lines? Shaped it for the far corner and found the far corner beautifully. Lines. O'Connor. Nice football from Sheffield Wednesday. Lewis Buxton, the captain. Still they make progress. Lines back with O'Connor. This will be some goal if they get it here. And they have! It's a tremendous goal. Chris O'Grady makes it 2-0. But the build-up was sublime. And those fans believe they're well on the way to a second round tie at home to either Maidenhead or Aldershot. 7-8 passes in the build-up. O'Connor's cross. And O'Grady got there ahead of Roach. Question marks about the goalkeeper. If you come that far, you have to get something on it. Roach didn't, and O'Grady said thank you. You feel, although we're still half an hour away or thereabouts from the end of this cup tie, you feel he has to score here. Does score! That trusty left foot of Lawrence Wilson and Jim Bentley's Morecambe are right back in business.
The away trip to Prenton Park nearly got off to the worst possible start when Reader Johnson's poor clearance was pounced on by Jose Baxter. The Everton loanee wouldn't miss with his second chance of the game, controlling and shooting on the edge of the area to put the Merseysiders ahead on 38 minutes. As the first half drew to a close, the Owls drew level when the ball broke to Chris Lines, whose shot somehow found its way into the bottom corner. It was the midfielder's second goal in as many games, after 15 matches without a goal since his signing from League Two Bristol Rovers. The Owls would have the better start to the second period, including this rasping effort from Liam Palmer that had the keeper and unfortunately the post beaten. There was a recall for keeper Stephen Bywater, and he would be called into action to parry Andy Robinson's long-range effort. With 10 minutes to go though, Wednesday took the lead. The ball broke back to Ben Marshall, who found space for an inviting cross that was eventually bundled over the line by substitute Ryan Lowe. It would be an important goal that marked back-to-back away wins for the first time this campaign. Wednesday brought November to a close with a visit of the Orient to Hillsborough. Manager Megson had signed on loan James Tavernier from Newcastle and Miguel Lera from Blackpool, and both would be named in the first 11. The Owls were 1-0 up early in the first half when a training ground free kick paid off. Chris Lines' cross was powered home by Reader Johnson. It was his third goal in 6 games. The defender was in a striker's goal-scoring form. Wednesday nearly doubled their lead in the second half, the Orient affording plenty of space down the left, and the deep cross found Chris O'Grady, whose brave header was cleared by Matt Laird. The solitary goal would prove enough for the 3 points though. Only 3 league games played in the month, but there were key ones as Wednesday crept into the automatic promotion places for the first time in the season. Still unbeaten at home and showing good away form. On to the second round of the FA Cup, and the Owls entertained League Two Aldershot, the home side looking to continue an unbeaten history against the Shots.
Chance here for Lowe, and he's taken it. Aldershot arms are in the air, waiting for a flag or a whistle that has never come. And Wednesday out of nothing lead a sloppy, poor match, frankly, by a 0-0. And look how easy that was. Route 1, Darren Jones didn't really get involved with Chris O'Grady, and Ryan Lowe is there, as all good front men are, and he has a lot of goals at lower league level, and now he's got another one.
Back in the league and a trip across the Pennines to face mid-table Oldham Athletic, and there would be a first start for Sanchez Watt, who'd signed on loan from Arsenal.
This is Adiemi. And Simpson wants it back, and Simpson will get it back here. And in the end, he's denied by Stephen Bywater, but it's a well-worked move from Oldham Athletic. By Xander Diamond. Towards Simpson. And the flick on, and Simpson's away again. Is this to be their moment? Stephen Bywater in the way again. Taken down in the end. This is Prutton. Lovely touch. David Prutton. And still, brilliant goal. Top class from David Prutton. His first goal since the opening day against Rochdale. And it is a moment to savour. Look at this. Terrific skill. And the finish to match. We've got the header. It's a top save from Kisak. Still not over with yet. Penalty, is it? Yes, it is. Brian Lowe scores to make it 2-0. 3 in his last 4 games.
A return to Hillsborough and an incredible encounter with Huddersfield Town.
This is Roberts and Rhodes for Gary Roberts again. Usually he's so lively and can provide on that left side, and he has done for Jordan Rhodes. It's the opening goal, ending a 2-game streak without a goal for Jordan Rhodes. Space here for Novak to bring it down. Roberts on this left side. Rhodes in the centre. It's 2. For the 5th time this season, he's scored twice in a game, Jordan Rhodes, and 2 goals in 2 minutes. Oh, shell shock, Sheffield Wednesday. Ward, oh, he's lost out here. That's for Jones! Back in it. Great leap. Fourth goal of the season for Jones, and a route back into this match. Jones's flick. Oh, deflection is off the woodwork, and a brilliant save as well. But it's not cleared yet. It's Johnson. It's 2-2. Absolutely extraordinary. Huddersfield had their chances to clear it. Naismith here, just get it clear, but a fine block, and it fell to Johnson. 2 in 2 minutes for Sheffield Wednesday. 7 matches since they last tasted defeat, the Owls. Still to be beaten at home this season. They're in the lead at home against Huddersfield. It's Ben Marshall. The comeback is complete. 2 down. It's 3-2 to the home side. And he hasn't scored since the defeat to Carlisle back in October. Big goal here. This is O'Grady. It's in. Looping header. And the former Rochdale man. His second league goal for Sheffield Wednesday after scoring in the derby. What a night. Roberts. Rhodes wants it. Jordan Rhodes, hat-trick, and away back into this game. His 3rd hat-trick in League One this season. Incredible. Well, it's got to get clear now. Clark, and Rhodes is on his way. It's 4! Absolutely unbelievable. And Jordan Rhodes has scored all 4.
8 games unbeaten in all competitions, and it looked as though the Owls would make it 9 in their match with Walsall when Ryan Lowe broke the deadlock on the hour mark. It was the striker's 5th goal in 8 games, 3 of those from the bench. But there would be late agony for the Owls. Emmanuel Smith's speculative effort taking a cruel deflection on its way through the crowd of players to bring the teams level. And with just seconds remaining, Wednesday failed to clear a hopeful ball into the area, and Clorganappa's looping header drifted agonisingly in, condemning Wednesday to Boxing Day disappointment. Nicky Weaver and John Estemaball were both handed call-ups for the first time since August for the trip to Deepdale, and the latter was instrumental in providing the Owls with a winning end to 2011. It was Estemaball who earned the corner, and Chris Lyne's cross was converted by Danny Bath. The goal was Bath's maiden strike for the Owls and came in timely fashion, the towering centre-half having extended his loan deal from Premiership side Wolves until the end of the current campaign. Ryan Lowe could have doubled the lead when he was threaded through with just the keeper to beat, but Stuttman did well to cover the angles and Lowe was only able to shoot wide. The second did come just before half-time, the free kick finding Ben Marshall deep on the left flank. His cross-come shot took the slightest of deflections to beat the keeper and secure the points for Wednesday. It was the winger's 5th goal of a successful loan spell at the club. Seven points from the month was not enough to maintain the automatic promotion place, but the points gap between them and the top of the table had been maintained, and they entered 2012 in an excellent position. The new year began with a home tie with Tranmere Rovers, the Owls looking to maintain their unbeaten home record through 2012.
Swung in. I've got the head, and it's into the back of the net. Sheffield Wednesday had the breakthrough. Rising high, super finish. Sprayed out wide. There's a looking menacing once more here. Kubak, it must be 2, and it is. Lines the man on target for Sheffield Wednesday. It just gets better and better in keeping their hopes of the playoffs alive. So difficult they have been to beat here at Hillsborough this season. A rare attack, snuffed out. Long throw, up go the heads. Been the opportunity of a break there, but kept alive Sheffield Wednesday. Some defending to do. To try and make sure they don't concede, they have done. Ian Goodison. And a way back for Tranmere.
The FA Cup third round gave the Owls an opportunity to flex their muscles against the best that the Championship had to offer. West Ham had a gilt-edged chance to seize the initiative just after the half-time interval, but Nicky Weaver was more than a match for Sam Baldock's spot kick. It would be the Owls who broke the deadlock in the 88th minute when Chris O'Grady found himself bearing down on goal, and his neat finish would prove the difference between the two sides. It was the forward's 4th goal for the club since joining at the start of the campaign from Rochdale and secured safe passage to the 4th round. A visit from long-time league leaders Charlton was always going to be a strain on the home form, and it proved to be the case. Chris Lyne's going close here, but a free kick from Johnny Jackson would prove to be the difference between the two teams. It was a crucial goal for the Addicks, as the celebration showed. Wednesday did have the ball in the back of the net when a looping through ball found Medine, and the striker beat the keeper, but not the linesman's flag. And in the frantic dying minutes, Wednesday thought they'd finally drawn level when Clinton Morrison headed on target, only to have his shot saved on the goal line. It was not to be Wednesday's day, and their impressive home record of 14 consecutive home games unbeaten in all competitions came to an end. Mike Jones, who'd signed for the Owls from Bury, continued in the starting 11 following his debut in the match with Charlton. Miguel Lara, who'd made his move permanent following a successful loan spell, was on the bench as the club welcomed Hartlepool to Hillsborough. It would be the away side who struck first just a minute after the restart, when a corner from Evan Horwood was converted by Peter Hartley with a commanding header to put the North East side into the lead. Wednesday struck back just 10 minutes later when substitute Jermaine Johnson weaved his way through the Pool's defence and placed his shot out of the reach of Scott Flinders in the Hartlepool goal. It was a goal for the ages from the Jamaican international and his first start for the season. The Owls would have the lead on 75 minutes when good work from Chris O'Grady would eventually lead to the ball falling to Gary Medine, who rifled under the keeper and into the net for his first goal since the middle of October. It was the striker's 12th of the season and a welcome return from injury. With just 3 minutes remaining though, the Owls would have victory snatched away from them when a speculative effort from Anthony Sweeney caught keeper Nicky Weaver off his line and Wednesday were forced to settle for a draw.
You know, we've dragged ourselves back into the game, done really well to get ourselves that lead, and then the goal was a poor goal from our point of view, and it was a bit of a kick in the teeth.
Stephen Bywater, Daniel Jones, Miguel Lara, Jermaine Johnson and Liam Palmer were all recalled to the starting lineup as Gary Megson rang the changes for the trip east to face Scunthorpe. Miguel Lara in the first 11 for the first time since his loan move was made permanent in early January.
It's first away day after 4 straight home games in the league in the FA Cup, Sheffield Wednesday. And in the opening minute, O'Grady is in here, and O'Grady has scored. Inside the first 60 seconds, what a start for Sheffield Wednesday, who were looking at taking some momentum into their FA Cup clash at Bloomfield Road coming up. Towards O'Grady, he's got another. His 6th goal for Sheffield Wednesday since his arrival from Rochdale. The way things are going up, Scunthorpe going to be looking at a defeat here. As Johnson, it opens up nicely for him. Johnson, really cool finish. To the delight of the travelling support. 2 in 2 games for Jermaine Johnson. Oh, and it's found its way in through Robertson. Oh, way back for Scunthorpe.
For the second time this season, Sheffield Wednesday lined up to face the Seasiders, this time in the FA Cup 4th round, and it would be the Owls who once again opened the scoring when Matt Gilch could only push the ball into the path of Clinton Morrison, whose precise finish marked the striker's first goal since his return from a loan spell at MK Dons in October. And the 5th round velvet bag was beckoning when in the 90th minute substitute Gary Taylor-Fletcher was adjudged to have been brought down in the penalty area and the referee pointed to the spot. The ever reliable and ever green Kevin Phillips stepped up to rifle the ball into the top of the goal and force a replay a week on Tuesday. New loan recruit John Bostock began his Owls career on the bench for the trip to Stadium MK to face promotion-chasing MK Dons. Luke Chadwick's speculative effort after 17 minutes would suffer the cruelest of deflections off the crossbar and then Stephen Bywater before trickling into the net, giving the home side a bizarre opener. Parity was restored on 27 minutes when Chris Sedgwick received his corner back on the byline and stood up a teasing cross that was bundled over the line by Dons defender Gary McKenzie. A strange way for the Owls to pull level, but nothing less than what their play had deserved. And Wednesday nearly took the lead through Reader Johnson's header, but it was cleared off the line and to safety to earn a point for the Dons. The FA Cup run had been a nice distraction, but the main focus of the league saw the club maintain their 3rd place standing, level on points with Huddersfield in 2nd and above their local rival Sheffield United. With much of the League One calendar decimated by the big freeze, Wednesday had the chance to turn the screw on their promotion rivals with a visit of struggling Yeovil to kick off February.
Summer ball, he's going to be quick. And Yeovil Town looking to punish him. Real opportunity, this is Parrott. And still looking to spray it across. And in the end, Yeovil have messed up what was a glorious opportunity to take the lead. It's been a good start from the Glovers. Could get even better for them. John Obika, can you believe this? On loan from Spurs. His second goal of the season. It's Yeovil Town that lead at Hillsborough. Britton. Johnson. Oh, it's a screamer. Jermaine Johnson. Firing in. A special strike here. Top corner. No chance for Walker. We've got the heads and a chance. It's in. They turn it around. It's Raider Johnson. It's all about the Johnsons today. Jermaine with the equaliser. Raider possibly with the winner.
Blackpool were finally able to get their revenge for defeat by the Owls in the Carling Cup at the start of the season with an accomplished display at Hillsborough.
Master poacher finds Loire. Now Matt Phillips with a shot! And Matt Phillips with the goal just can't stop scoring. 10 goals in 10 matches. And the in-demand winger has scored again. Loire to Kevin Phillips. Now Loire can stretch those legs perhaps. Loire tries to kill one. Oh, how about that for a finish? Blackpool score a second goal. It is a beauty. Loire. Harris has yet to play a league game for Blackpool. All these games have come in the cup competition so far. Here's Ludovic Sylvestre, who's had a really good game, and Sylvestre has surely wrapped up the tie with a super goal. 3-0 now to Blackpool.
Out of the Cup, the Owls could now concentrate on the league programme and a trip to struggling Exeter City. A routine victory looked on the cards when on 65 minutes Jermaine Johnson rifled the away team into a deserved lead. It was the Jamaican's 4th goal in 6 games and much deserved following some excellent performances for the Owls in 2012. But Exeter replied immediately. Billy Jones' unstoppable free kick bringing the teams level. The Wednesday lead had lasted just 3 minutes. And they would be behind when, with 6 minutes to go, David Noble hit an even better free kick than the last to give Stephen Bywater no chance and the South Coast side all 3 points. Defeat would follow against Stevenage when Scott Laird rose highest at the back post to grab the only goal of the game. And the losing streak would continue, this time against Chesterfield, when John Bostock was adjudged to have brought down Nicky Ajose in the area, and Dean Morgan slotted home the resulting penalty to win the game for Chesterfield and extend Wednesday's losing run to 4 games. It was terrible form to take into one of the most crucial derby clashes of recent memory. Michael Antonio made his first start for the club following his loan move from Reading as all of Sheffield turned their attention to Hillsborough.
The last 3 games in a row, Sheffield United. And towards Cresswell here, and away by Jones. Needed the clearance. Really bright start from the visitors. Grady. This is Antonio. Oh, great cross. Ryan Lowe just couldn't arrive in time. Looking form, it counts for nothing on Derby Day as Evans goes close here. His future still a talking point through and through. Sheffield Wednesday, Gary Megson. To end a run of 4 defeats in a row in all competitions. O'Grady! Very nearly giving his side the lead. O'Grady's header! Lift off inside Hillsborough. Scorer when these two met back in October, making the breakthrough. And looking to keep on the coattails of their rivals above them in League One. Brilliant header from O'Grady. Oh, must be! Oh! Tipped over. Delight for Sheffield Wednesday.
It was a great victory for the club, but it was not enough for manager Gary Megson to keep his job. After a string of poor results dating back to the middle of January, the board felt that a new man at the helm would help steady the ship, and the board were unanimous in the decision to appoint former Southampton and Cardiff manager Dave Jones as their new boss. He took over a club sitting in third position in the league, 5 points from the automatic promotion places and 11 points clear of the 7th place team, just outside the playoff positions. The manager took up a watching brief for the match against Rochdale, leaving first-team duties to his assistant Chris Evans. In truth, it was a tight game with few chances for either side. This deflected shot from Nicky Adams, the closest either team came in the first half. There was a real scare for Wednesday late in the game, when Rob Jones was adjudged to have tripped Jason Kennedy in the box. Dale captain Jones stepped up and hit the spot kick hard and low, only to see the ball smash against the post and back out to safety. Bury were the visitors to kick off the managerial tenure of Dave Jones. He made a few changes, starting with Lowe and Medine up front and deploying two out-and-out wingers in Mike Jones and Michael Antonio.
Onside Ryan Lowe, round the goalkeeper, tight angle. It's to pick someone out in Antonio and the opener to kick off the Dave Jones era at Hillsborough. Searching ball, and the touch should be two and is. Gary Medine ending a run of 8 games without a goal. It's his longest drought of the season, but a simple finish in the end. Jones couldn't have asked for a better start, could he? Chance for 3! It's Antonio again. His second of the night, his first goals since arriving on loan from Reading. Here comes Sheffield Wednesday, looking for a fourth. Ryan Lowe, the former Bury man, gets the fourth. For a player who was a real fans' favourite in his time at Gig Lane. He was key to their own promotion success. And he's made it 4, and that'll be curtains for Bury. Oh, what a great effort that was. So unfortunate. Sochi's header. And Schumacher! Really good finish. Scant consolation, you feel. And he couldn't have asked for a better start, Dave Jones, with 3 points in his first game in charge.
4 goals to kick off the S6 career of Dave Jones was impressive. The 3 goals his team plundered within the first 10 minutes of the game with Bournemouth were simply stunning.
Corner is a real teaser. Beaten away by Flahaven. Antonio cuts it back. The opener. Danny Bath it is. 4 minutes on the clock. And Sheffield Wednesday have an early lead here. Oh, it's two! Has that ball crossed the line? Yes, it has. The goal will count. Might even be an own goal. But celebrations for Sheffield Wednesday. Quick fire goals at the start of this first half. Antonio. It's got beyond two. Antonio. Oh, it's three! What a start. 10 minutes. Sheffield Wednesday are 3-0 up here against Bournemouth. And fresh from his goals against Bury last time out, he's doing it again, Mikel Antonio.
Just 2 games in, and the manager had discovered a winning formula, keeping the same lineup that had humbled the Cherries in the previous match. And it would be the Owls who, for the 3rd game running, opened the scoring when in-form Michael Antonio showed his power, pace and skill to get to the byline and cut back an inviting ball for Ryan Lowe to net his 7th goal for the Owls. The former Bury striker, who was now on 13 for the campaign, was once again finding his scoring boots under new manager Dave Jones and alongside strike partner Gary Medine. Medine would bag the second when he managed to outmuscle 2 defenders and direct his shot between goalkeeper and post to put the game beyond county. The striker was back amongst the goals after an impressive scoring run in the opening months had tailed off during the mid-season. It was clear though the new manager was getting the best out of Medine and Lowe. Notts County did get a consolation in the 88th minute when Lloyd Sam bundled a free kick over the line, but it wouldn't be enough to spark a comeback, and the Owls moved to 3 victories on the spin under the new manager.
Without really, we had a couple of half chances. They didn't really have any, if any. It was probably a dull first half, to be fair. But I just said to the boys at half time, we're playing in front of them, we've got to get in behind them and get into pockets. And I thought we did that superbly. 2 good goals.
For the 4th consecutive game, Dave Jones named an unchanged lineup as the Saddlers arrived at Hillsborough with contrasting aims for the remainder of the season to the home side. It was the Owls who went closest early on when Antonio hit a speculative effort from outside the area that rattled the woodwork. But the West Midlanders were playing at a much higher tempo than their lowly league position suggested, and it was the Saddlers who took the lead when John Macken fired in from inside the penalty area. The Owls hit back almost immediately when Walsall failed to clear their lines from a corner and Ryan Lowe was given time to turn and shoot in the area. The informed striker didn't need a second invitation and wheeled away in celebration, his 14th of the season for both Bury and Wednesday combined. The Owls continued to dominate as they have for the majority of the match, but it was the visitors who would again take the lead when Jamie Patterson hit an unstoppable strike from the right flank that left goalkeeper Bywater helpless. The new manager's unbeaten record looked to be over when, with virtually the last kick of the game, Gary Medine was able to pounce on the goalkeeper's parry and convert with his 2nd attempt. It was nothing less than the Owls deserved, and whilst the winning record under the new manager had gone, at least they remained unbeaten since the end of February. Reader Johnson and Miguel Lara returned to the first team as part of a new-look Wednesday defence for a trip to the capital to face Leyton Orient.
Oh, it's a good run. Johnson, not too far away. And it comes. There's some poor marking. It's got to be. It is. Well, the keeper dropped it, but the marking was non-existent. And Wednesday are in front. Deep and it's cleared by Lira. Oh, it's far too easy, isn't it? The keeper's. Where is the keeper? He's far too far out. And the ball goes wide. Oh, goodness me, and Orient living dangerously here. And Wednesday on the way to the championship on this form.
The Sky cameras descended on Hillsborough for the final match of March. Niall Ranger made his first start for the Owls, following a loan move from Newcastle United, the only change to the victorious 11 from the last match.
Able to keep that going till the end of the season, that'd suit them very nicely indeed. Here's Lines providing the charge from midfield. And now Medine! Oh yes! The top scorer with a lovely drive to give Sheffield Wednesday the lead.
Sensational.
It's a top strike from Gary Medine right in the corner. I mean, the goalkeeper may not be happy with that. He doesn't actually get himself off the floor. He just leans across rather than springs across. Does he get any spring, the goalkeeper? He may well palm that away, but he doesn't. Antonio long throw again. And that's another goal for Gary Medine at Sheffield Wednesday. And that should be enough to send them back into second place this Saturday lunchtime. He gets a really good run at the ball and he times his jump to absolute perfection. And that is a really, really good header. That will disappoint Graham Westley, there's no question.
What a month March had been. A new manager at the helm, 7 games played, unbeaten, and with 17 points earned from a possible 21. The gap to the automatic promotion places had been reduced to 2, and it was a certainty that the Owls would at least make the playoffs. The Wednesday fans were out in force for the short trip north to face a 4th place Huddersfield side on a run of 1 defeat in 10 games. Rob Jones was suspended for the game, meaning a recall to the side for Danny Bath. With just 2 minutes on the clock, Wednesday nearly had the lead when Gary Medine was able to direct a flick on towards goal, beating keeper Alex Smithies, but rebounding off the crossbar and away. Huddersfield were able to exploit space on the big Gow Farm Stadium pitch, and when Danny Ward was played in by Jordan Rhodes, the travelling support were relieved to see the ball whistle past the upright to safety. The deadlock was broken on 54 minutes, when Miguel Lera took on the free kick responsibilities and hit an unstoppable shot up and over the wall into the near corner of the goal. It was an exquisite way for the Spaniard to open his account and cap off some recent top-class performances from the Owls. Wednesday weren't finished there, and a fine ball over the top from Lines picked up Ranger, whose side footer came crashing back off the upright, with Antonio smashing the rebound wide. The two would link up again before the end to put the game beyond the Terriers. Antonio playing Ranger through, who held off the challenge of the defender and placed the ball past the on-rushing Smithies into the Huddersfield net. It was the Newcastle striker's first goal for his current club, and capped a great individual and team display, and arguably the club's best result of the campaign.
I wasn't comfortable, it was a hard game. I felt for the first 20-25 minutes we were certainly, having a right go at them and maybe should have gone in front. And then we just went a bit sloppy and we allowed them, but they're at home and that's going to happen. And the second half I thought we really took it to them and could have scored a lot more than the 2, to be fair, maybe another one. But it's a good result to come here, certainly the way they've been playing and what they've been doing.
Oldham would be the visitors to Hillsborough to mark the club's 50th game of the campaign, a half-century not out, and they go on to build on their score further against the Latics.
Medine waits in the box, Medine gets there! And Medine is the man for Sheffield Wednesday! The inevitable result. Goal 18 of the campaign, that equals his best ever. And Wednesday, they've had hard times in this first half, at times, but now they're in the lead. Tracy to lift it in there, and it's a second. It's Yerra. He made the first, he scored the second, and second is surely exactly where Wednesday are heading.
Look at this for quality. Beautifully flighted, gets across his man, free header. Nobody's picking him up, the best header possibly in their team. Nobody near him. Free header, Bazan, it's not a chance. Somebody has to pick him up. I'm not so sure who was supposed to be picking him up, but whoever it was, nowhere near him.
There's Tracy. On Lowe! Oh, fantastic! A magical first touch for Ryan Lowe.
And absolutely no doubt Wednesday are going back above the blades.
We've got to try and stop the cross a little bit better, but that's a terrific delivery. Sometimes there's nothing you can do when the delivery's as good as this. And Tarkowski there, it beats him all ends up, and he still has to adjust there, Ryan Lowe. Comes over, look, just has to get the merest of touches and just hit the target with it. Has to stoop a little bit, and that's a quality finish. It would have been very easy to head that wide.
Mark Beevers was in the manager's 11 for his first start of the campaign for the Owls, with a trip south to face a resolute Colchester side. The U's had fared well at home in 2011-2012, and this looked set to continue when, after just 3 minutes, Stephen Gillespie stole through the Owls' defence and laid on a gilt-edged chance that Ian Henderson wasn't going to miss. It was just after the break before Sheffield Wednesday were able to draw level. An inviting ball across by Chris Lines that evaded everyone but Miguel Lera. It was a goal that would prove vital in the club's push for a return to the Championship. No win, but the manager preserved his unbeaten record and kept damage to the promotion push down to a minimum. The draw against Colchester put pressure on the final 3 games, starting with a home match against a Carlisle side on the rise as they search for a playoff place.
This is Antonio. Denied by the goalkeeper. Lines is there! His first goal since January against Tranmere Rovers here. Crucial breakthrough. Oh, getting caught in the sun there, I think, Livesey. And in the end, his goalkeeper, Colin, comes to the rescue to deny Niall Ranger. Lovely touch. Ranger. That's lovely control. Antonio. That's a second bite at the cherry. Ranger's there and fired over. So dangerous whenever they come forward. Medine over the top. Straight into the wall, doing its job, and it's a goal! Berrett with it, his 9th of the season. Marshall, nicely played. Lovely touch again, looking to get it back to Marshall. Still the danger, not over with yet. Oh, it's in! Antonio looks as though he snatched it for Sheffield Wednesday. And just look at the scenes at Hillsborough. How crucial a 3 points could they be for Dave Jones and Sheffield Wednesday?
Listen, we were coming to 5-0 at half time. I don't think anybody would have been surprised. But when it's 1-0, set play, you know, that little break fell to them on the edge of the box after hitting the wall, and the lads drilled it in. But full credit to the boys, because they kept going, they kept believing, kept playing it right, and they got the rewards at the end of the day. Because it would have been a travesty if we had won the game with the amount of possession and the amount of chances we created.
The Blades slipped up against the MK Dons, reducing the gap to a solitary point. But with goal difference in United's favour, the Owls knew they needed victories as they travelled to the capital to face Brentford.
So important to take something from this game, Sheffield Wednesday. In the end, it's more together. Could have been excellent at times this season under Uwe Rosler. And here they come, looking to find the opening goal of their own, and Bywater had to be aware on his near post. Still, they can't clear their lines Wednesday. Free kick to be whipped in towards the near post area, and it's found its way through. Straight from the free kick, maybe. Keep tracing. This is a real battle between the two Sheffield Giants for that automatic place behind Charlton. But this is Donaldson. Now then, penalty is it? For Brentford, it is. He won the penalty, he scored it. just after the hour mark. Brentford 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1. Called in, it's a goal! Miguel Lara. Advantage Sheffield Wednesday in the quest for automatic promotion.
That victory took the club into second after the Blades could only draw against Stevenage. This was turning into a battle of the ages between two of the closest rivals in football. A win for the Owls and they would blunt the Blades' bid for the Championship and gain promotion back to the second tier of English football.
Sheffield Wednesday in pole position. At sold-out Hillsborough, their job is simple. Beat relegated Wycombe Wanderers and promotion is theirs. Lose or even draw, and they risk being overtaken by, of all people, their Steel City rivals Sheffield United. Ahead then lies either joy or final day agony. As always in this ever-partisan football city, there's simply no middle ground. That's Madine's touch here for Niall Ranger. Doherty in the weight, comes here to Antonio. This is Mikel Antonio! Eruption! Just listen! Hillsborough is rocking because Wednesday have the goal to calm the nerves and maybe be the launch pad to the Championship. Promotion on the horizon for Sheffield Wednesday. Thanks to Mikel Antonio, took it wonderfully well, beats the impressive Bull who had no answer this time, and Wednesday in front in a game they need to win. They're doing what they can. Antonio's goal makes it 1-0. Given the Blades have their noses in front now at St James's Park, Exeter, Wednesday must win this game, and so far they're doing just that. Here's Chris Lyons with the free kick. In by Lyons, Rangers header! And that might just be that. He's a changed man. Well, he might just have scored the goal to change Wednesday's status from League One to Championship. In by Lyons, met by Ranger. Promotion for Sheffield Wednesday, perhaps. Last minute of the last game of the season. Sheffield Wednesday 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0, and the whistle goes, and Sheffield Wednesday have done it. For Wednesdayites, days don't come much better. For Wednesdayites, days don't come much better. Promotion for Sheffield Wednesday, and sweeter still, the Owls up at the expense of their rivals, Sheffield United. The final game, the final outcome, Sheffield Wednesday 2, Wycombe Wanderers 0. The Owls are back in the Championship.
What a game and what a season it had been. The raw emotion of the players and fans came pouring out on the final whistle as the Owls fulfilled their season-long ambition to return to the Championship. It was a triumph that tasted even sweeter, coming at the expense of the nearest and fiercest rival Sheffield United. The Owls finished the season on 93 points, 3 clear of the Blades and more importantly in the second automatic promotion position. Dave Jones had remained unbeaten as the Owls manager and he would take that impressive record into the Championship for 2012-2013.